Uncaged is the soundtrack of
Hey, how's it going? Oh, that reminds me. Yes, I gotta do Blanco stuff. I've got on the computer now. Been out watching some TV shows with the missus. Sunday night over here. Just quickly grab a drink. Might take a look at that scholar information now. Did you? Well, I've actually got you. Did you send me through protein shakes? Yeah. I take a couple a day actually. I use like a Soylent type drink. It's called Aussie Lent. It has all your vitamins and protein and what have you. This is a late night pick me up at 10:30. I shouldn't be putting passwords on screen. I'll have to edit a video. These passwords don't matter per se, but there's nothing people can steal from these. When you get a chance, Glay, can you remind me and send through the details for aren't you? These passwords allow people to play the game, but it doesn't actually give you access to money or anything. So if people want to log in and play the game for me for free, sounds good. Glay, can you send through, if you're there, the details around... Oh, actually, I think you already did. What levels people got to. I gotta compute this. Not levels. Mints. I'll look over what I promised and I'll have to put these bonuses in and then do the pay run. Where are you from, Orange You? Yeah, it was mint orders, my brain, sorry. I'm doing a little bit of game dev. Oh, you're currently playing Blankos. Cool. Have we spoken before, aren't you? I mean, it doesn't say that you're first time in chat. You're not from the Fractal community, are you? From the Fractal community or from software and development category? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm also from Adelaide. I don't know if we established that last time. Did we test the game with you on stream last time? Oh, yeah, you were talking about the fractal patterns, whereas I was talking about the fractal gaming NFT in the fractal.is. At that website. That's right. Sorry, I just had to message someone. Yes, I'm actually. I need to work on my UI so it actually fits in the right spot where it scales better. How do I do that? That's really weird that my UI is slipping out of screen. So this is a UI container on the top left, and I clearly don't understand why it would be moving. This is a PC game, web browser game. Multiplayer networking. Oh, sorry, multiplayer. Cannot instantiate. Okay. So I've currently got the game set up that the only way to launch it is through a loading screen, which calls on a sequence of events to actually connect to a multiplayer server and then get you into a game with people. But I've been a little bit busy. Been trying to focus on the networking side of things. There you go. My UI is actually presenting itself now. So this is automatically name generating username. That's why it separates player and the number. I'll have to take a look at that. Log, illegal view, update score. Cool. Player list box clone. Servers in this instance is Australia, but it can be automatically region based. Hey, Dr. Lazy Beats. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, so this is using a package called Photon Unity, which is essentially a framework, a business that provides a service of hosting games, and you connect to their service. And that's fundamentally what I'm trying to code and learn how to sufficiently create a network game, because it's not simply just drop it in and your game's magically networked. It's trying to understand how this framework works. How you need to send data to the server, how you need to have it rippled out to all the players. Like I need to choose the priorities, the frequencies, what kind of information is synchronized between players. Correct. Yes, use all their photon libraries. And one problem I've been having is just trying to work out the best way. Like this is something I'm trying to work on now, is trying to work out in my game, the concept is you're going around this planet and you're collecting water droplets to increase the size of your fractal. So the fractals are inspired, like 100% based on the fractals that were created by the Fractal.is marketplace. And it's these fractals, they gave them out to free, to 100,000 people for free. So the first 100,000 people that joined their Discord server got one of these 100,000 different variations. There's 4 different colors: red, purple, blue, and yellow. And they're different factions and have different rarities. So my game's all centralized about this. I only do software engineering when needed to get my hardware running. Fair enough. Yeah, I think you may have been the guy talking about the more complicated, lower level hardware coding the other day. Radio. Trying to remember how exactly our content. So it's been like 10 days since we spoke. I've been doing some videos on YouTube. I just haven't been coming on streaming as often. One of the biggest challenges I'm having with streaming is obviously just not being an expert. Radars. I'm not being an expert in this field, so I'm actually learning. So it's hard to, on the fly, be super effective at educating people. Whereas in YouTube, I'm just doing like daily summary recaps over at this channel. Yes. So these are the fractals I'm embedding. My daughter's a 9-year-old and she's been awesome drawing in the fractals. So I'm using her 2D assets. And a legal view. I'm trying to quickly work out what I've done wrong. So I'm trying to work out how to synchronize these players because yes, as you're floating around this planet, you are collecting water droplets, and your snowflake is getting larger in size. And then the objective is to consume other snowflakes, other players. So as you're flying around, you will collide with them. And at that point in time, your PC needs to know how many points has your opponent collected, because the mechanism is simply going to be, if you have 140 points worth and you're a larger fractal and they have 139 or any less, then you consume them and you become, say, 270. And that means I need to have the networking side of things beautiful, because otherwise I'm going to have all sorts of irregularities where player 2 has just picked up 2 points and he's 141. Player 1 still thinks that he's ahead with 140 points and he hasn't received the data from the opposing player to say that the opposing player is bigger. So you potentially might have this client inconsistency where they eat each other and both have different versions of the truth. I played just talk about the Game of Life as a board game. Good evening, Chaos. How you going? Is that Cow? Kal? It's hard to connect the dots between people's names. I think Chaos is in one of my Discord groups as a scholar because he's a VIP, plays Axie. Yeah, I gotta quickly debug this, try and work out what I've done. I've been trying to test if I can implement a dictionary structure rather than a list structure, whether or not that's needed. I don't know, I was just playing around with it. But, trying to work out, what have I done to have broken? Did we manage to loot? Add player listing. Player listing. What have I changed? I'm going to open up my debug log again. I just want to see if I've got any more context anywhere. Obviously something within the Photon framework I've busted. On collision, enter update points. It's lower down the stack. Sent out. Okay, so this is this line of code here is ran on my local client So every single player would be running this code whenever void update points. Essentially, whenever you consume another player or whenever you pick up a water droplet. And this is where we're using the photon framework. So we're calling on the photon view. So photon views are attached to each of the players and they have a visual, they call it a view, I guess, an understanding of all the content of that player. And what I'm saying is I have got information about this player that I currently have with me. I'm going to send that information out to everyone via the photon framework through a remote procedure call. And I'm going to be calling the update score method on every other player's computer. In this instance, RPC all, I believe, is even bouncing back to myself, sends RPC to everyone and executes it immediately on this client. And I'm also sending across points information. So that's the argument, the parameters that I'm sending through. And when I have done this, it's triggered an illegal failure. So that would hop to, and I'm the only client here. So update score, I probably played around with something in the listing. Where is my score? It's in something called player listing. Cool, I don't have it open. Let's just open it. Update score. Pun RPC is the tagline to expose a function, make it callable by other players. So I've flagged this particular function to obviously be able to receive data. This was working. Ah, no, I haven't seen that before. Game of Life. 1970 digital simulation. Is that this that you're referring to? What does it do? Reset. Speed up. Stop, reset. So what, you draw, you click a bunch of things, slow it down, click start. Nothing there. Is that bugging out on me, or I'm not? Maybe I'm not understanding what it's doing, or if it's less than 2 dots, it doesn't exist. Because it's diagonal. We'll stay. That's fascinating. That's really cool. That's super cool. Oh, and I can click things. Obviously, things won't work if I click standalone because they've got like a fundamental rule that if it's by itself, it ceases to exist. The rule for the next time step is adjacent is. Yeah. That's trippy as. You can like just spam click all these spots. Oh, and you sometimes kill it. And you speed it up. Wow, it's hard to keep them alive when you speed it up this quick. Just everything gets deleted. That's cool. I'll play around with that a bit later on. I like that. That's actually really cool. You could put like map out a logo and then click play and see what it does. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. That is really, really cool. Super clean. Has an explanation to it as well. Like, there's the explanation system. I don't know if it explains all of the rules here. Oh wow, people actually found different patterns. The induction coil. Okay. So I'm gonna create two screens of this. I'm just gonna quickly play one of these patterns out. And people created these at all different points in time. I just lost the coil. Where's the coil gone? Here we go. An L, a dot, 4 on top. Let's zoom in. Nope. Dot, 4 on top. And what was it? Another L. I'm sure I got that right. I had it on way too fast to even see what it was doing. And L. Oh, it's still playing. An L, a dot, 4 on top, another L. Reverse L. That's weird that they call that an induction coil. Super interesting. Hey, Abel, how you going, buddy? Something that Orange Hue in the chat shared, a game on a web browser called the Game of Life. It has some algorithms that take place depending on what dots you place on the board. It has some rules, like a dot by itself will die when you play the simulation. It's all about how these dots will interact with one another. There's certain programming that effectively is running over this whole board. So if I click play, these things will just come to life and do a whole bunch of different random patterns. And I can also click and sort of add some different pixels, which will then help play out some more strange, bizarre, very strange. It's cool. But yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on some coding. This whole weekend I've been thinking about what I can do next to improve some of my networking issues. And to do that, I'm just trying to work on a player leaderboard. I want to make sure that I have a persistent leaderboard running on each of the clients where we know how many points each of the players have. And I'm just going to play this one more time. I want to see this error that I'm getting. Debug error, illegal view ID method, update score. No worries, buddy. Have a good one. See you later. Have a good night. See you next time. I still haven't implemented the cameras. Just mostly working on networking at the moment. It would work now, Abel. You would be able to join, but I've just got some issues. When I'm collecting points and sending them around, Pardon me. When I'm collecting points and sending them around, I'm getting an illegal view error. I'm just going to check if that happens when I have more than one player in the game. I'm collecting points and sending them around. Works cool. All right, where are we? All right, ABC 123. Cool. Join. Okay, let's see if I still have this error. I do. Updating score error. What have I done wrong? It's taking place. Legal view ID 0. I'm gonna check something. I feel like it's implying that I'm missing a network setting. I did have this set up, so I'm a little bit confused. Player list item. Putting in all the information on the right hand side based on this is the leaderboard information. Trying to get the player names to appear. I believe that's where I'm having this error. Sorry, when I'm trying to update it. How you doing, Abel? Let's see if this fixes it. Awesome, buddy. What are you playing at the moment? Is it just Axie? Any other games like Gods Unchained or anything? Yeah, I think I remember as well. You wanted more Axies, didn't you? Top 135. Gee, that's crazy. When's the new season start? It's off season, right? 15th of February. What? What kind of start this? Did I break this? Yeah, gotcha. But you want 20, don't you? And sorry, when's the new season start? This is peculiar. Ah, of course. Can't create ABC123 because that room already exists. My mistake. Cool. Player list. Photon view. Delphi. Yeah, I've got people that I can remove at the moment. Yeah, what I was trying to get at in Discord earlier is just because Norris has been looking after everyone. Now I'm just catching up. I was just taking a look at the history, and I've been more than accommodating, with power outages and this, that, and the other. No reference object now. What? But yeah, some people have had less than 50% play time, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, I had internet issues in the last few days," but then they had outages, like they stopped playing consistently for the last month. Like every second day they were taking off, and then they'd play a day and only do half the amount of games that they need to do. And then also, they hadn't spoken in Discord for 2 months, and they hadn't messaged us at any point in time to say, "Sorry, I'm having issues." The only reason I found out is because I had to DM them myself and say, "Hey, this is your history. What's going on?" So it's just a sign that they got to go. They're literally not involved. They're not doing their dailies, and they're not messaging me or Norris. Feb 1-2 season 20. Ooh, top 1. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Absolutely crazy. I hope Axie can turn it around. It's really burning right now. It's hard to hold on to something that's losing so much value. Like the whole crypto space is not even what I'm comparing to. I understand. I don't look at the US dollar value. I look at the Ethereum value. So I was buying Axies that were costing me 0.1 Ethereum back in August, and then now worth 0.01. So they've gone down 10 times in value. In Ethereum value. That was my concern. And that implies the player base is reducing. So there'd be less active players on a daily basis, is my understanding. So currently, the current model is that the value of SLP and the value of Axies themselves can only go up if the player base is growing in size. So it feels like they haven't done a lot to encourage growth in the community, which is my concern. They spent literally 4 months just reading Twitch posts about them out partying, and they're called the Axie Sisters or something. They need to release version 2. They need to do something. But they just got Axie Sisters dancing, Bryson dancing, G-Host dancing. So this doesn't feel very progressive, professional. 30 billion SLP in the market. Let me take a look at that. I was very bullish on Axie, but you can't control what they're doing. Game investments, Blankos, Axie, World Economics, SLP issuance. Where do you see the 30 billion? Because I tallied this up myself last time. Download the data. Data, text to columns, spit it all out. Be minted. Minus SLP burnt. All the way down the bottom. Yeah. That is... See, sisters. Rockin'. I didn't see my sum all button. Yeah, 30 billion coins. Growing at a rate of 124 million daily. As to what the average is. Average is 180 million daily. Hectic. Yeah, it's only gotten worse. Like every single attempt they've had to increase burn rate hasn't done anything. Even the recent little burn event they did for the Nation Express where you release axes. Like I think there's over 10 million axes, right? That was a competition. So there's probably 11 million axes right now. And because the prizes were so few and finite, there was barely any there. Only 100,000, less than 1% ended up burning. Mate, this dude burnt so many. 615. He must have had heaps. Gee, Hoz is a beast. Chance of winning my ranking. Ugh. Floor price was 0.18 when people started releasing axes. Now floor price is like 0.11, 12. It's gone down 50% since they started releasing and burning axes. And we were waiting for that ability for so long to release and burn axes and get something in return. And that less than 100,000 people were released because it just wasn't value add. They could have literally done almost anything else and it would have had a better outcome. They should have given away land, expanded the land package, because that place is so speculative. At least they could get people excited about it. I'm willing to blow a whole heap of axes away at the hope of getting land, because land's really untouchable. It's like 3-4 ETH or something. I might do a code recovery. I've been playing around tonight while watching a movie with the missus. Not movie, just TV series. I'm always working on the side. And I was just playing around with some code and I've clearly broken something. An hour ago. I'll go to this morning. Yeah, I fixed the join issue now. I did. That would work. It had something to do with it was trying to have you connect to a different server than what I was on. Yeah, you can. Game's pretty sucky at the moment, though. Let me just quickly see if I can actually even get it to launch. It's been a week since we did it last time. Let's see what's changed. Can you collect? No, I am so confused. Yesterday? Go back to yesterday? Why would people get excited with land accessories if people don't have land? Exactly right. And if the other thing is the marketplace only had 6,000 land accessories up for sale, and they're giving out like 50,000 land accessories or something. So it's going to get flooded. Or 100,000 land accessories, because there's been 100,000 people that have released. So whatever value people thought they might be able to get when they sell their land accessory, it's going to be flooded. So it was 6,000 before. If something sold for, say, 0.1, if it was a common or something, now there's going to be 100,000 that may potentially go up for sale. So the price of all those land assets are going to go down. The items, sorry. Compiler errors. Seen. No argument given. Player listing instantiate. Quickly check something. Yeah. Axie. Okay. I think I know where I broke this. Oh, wow. I did a lot of work. Ay. I just have to hop on stream without realizing I've broken my game pre-stream. Mm-hmm. earning 30 billion SLP is not going to be an easy feat. And you're looking at the price history. Like, how are they going to go against the grain and flip the value of SLP around? It's just not possible with the rate of inflation. So in December, no, this is back in July. This is even before my time, so I don't know when you guys started playing, but I think I joined around September-ish, and SLP has done nothing but go down. Like, there was slight little, bump ups when people were speculating, the Katana Ronin decks adding value, and price upticks because Binance wasn't allowing people to transfer SLP. So actual technical issues were causing price increases. That was pretty interesting. All right, let me try and just focus for half a second. I want to try and actually understand why this isn't working. Every time I pick up a water droplet, it's sending out a command to update the scoreboard. And you beauty, I broke the scoreboard. Find that scoreboard again. One moment. Why does it look so big now? Oh no. Alright. Save. Publish. Have you seen Pegaxy? They're burning their tokens quite good. Yeah, Norris/Clay he's all into that. I don't have any time at the moment for that stuff. Playing a new game. I'm mostly focusing on Fractal at this present time. Trying to get this game up to scratch. Try and hopefully win this competition if I'm lucky. Oh, I received a command for view ID 0, but this photon view does not exist. Was remote photon view remote called by 01 player? Maybe Go was destroyed, but RPC is not cleaned up. Okay. I'm gonna try something. Yeah, Clay likes Pegaxy, which is a similar thing where we're just not sure how long he should play before he jumps out. Is it going to go in a downward decline at any point? Might change this. Right now it's sending it to everyone and myself. Let's see what happens when I send it just to other people and not me. I think I can't see how it's going to fix it, but let's do it. Clay loves the racing. So I'm expecting when I click up a water droplet that this goes to 11, but I've broken something that is giving me errors when we go to update the score. Okay. I'm fully aware now of what I had done. I should be able to fix this straight away. I worked out there was a problem in my game where okay, I'm gonna backtrack here. So this command here means that this scoreboard updater, this thing that updates the scoreboard, how many points I have, I enabled it to be called by other players. So if another player picks up a water droplet, they can tell me in my game what their score is. and I haven't quite worked out how to do that. So I've enabled it, but it's causing errors. Every time I receive that update request, I'm not handling that. So what I then need to do is here, get rid of this networking. Whoop, my goodness. I put a double forward slash to remove the line of code. So this is the networking request where it's trying to send out an update saying, hey, everybody, via what's called an RPC, which is a remote procedure call, which means I'm running a piece of code on someone else's computer. That's what RPC means. I am now saying, stuff that. Whenever I pick up points, I'm just going to update my own scoreboard, and we're going to have no problems now whatsoever. This is stuff I was coding last Friday. And that's what happens when you stop coding halfway through. You're trying to catch up where you left off. And if you left yourself a bug for 2 days later, awesome. All right, so now I'm flying around. We should see when I actually work out which direction I'm flying. My scoreboard will update. Yes, it is updating. And now this is where the problem is. If I go build and run, and I have multiple versions of the game running, okay, sorry, I set to message people in Discord. Okay, so ABC123, create room. See my scoreboard. This is the dedicated game running here on my computer. I have a compiled version of the game. And if I join that room without this logic code in place, so you can see in my editor here, as I'm floating around and collecting points, it's updating my points. But if we then look on the other player's scoreboard, so my ID here is 770. 770 on the other machine, however, is not being updated. So they're out of sync, and if we bump into each other, it's very random as to who eats who. So now I'll bump into him, even though he was bigger than me. I've sent a kill command and killed him. It's super, super janky. And this is where I've spent majority of my time this week trying to work out how do I do a better job at synchronizing this data. And I think where I am working from. Awesome. It's not even delay. I'm simply failing to send data in between the players. So if I've collected a point, I should be telling your computer that I've collected a point. And I'm not doing that. So that's one thing I'm just trying to work on now. So this to the side. Open. I just did a bit of work before and I don't know where I've put it. I'm going to quickly re-update my client. History. 7 minutes ago, an hour ago. I'm just going to reload. Player list menu. Okay, it's here. Close this and reopen. No. Cool. Ignore me. Tickets. So many channel points. Okay, I'm going to focus for a second. So I've been trying to work out how to store this data. We need to change the channel points redeem. Yeah, I got to turn it off. I mean, most people that join the stream now wouldn't even know about it anyway, fortunately. I don't stream a heap nowadays. It just lets me sort of create a video at some point when I get a chance. I don't know how much more I'm going to be streaming in the future, to be honest. Yes. I don't know if I've got the right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to focus for a sec. Let's see if I can work this out. I'm essentially trying to work out how to store this data. I'm going over my code from a week ago where I am updating the leaderboard with network information. I don't even have music running. Oh, really? Can you hear the background music now, surely? Yeah, you should be able to. I can't even work out what I'm looking at. I'm like... I'll pull it down. There we go. Oh, that's heaps weird. When I'm coding, I think I'm like looking... I can't even... My camera updates so quick, I can't work out. When I'm coding, I'm like almost looking into the camera lens. There you go. No worries. Hi Curtis, yeah, just having a small little stream, just coding. I thought maybe some people from Discord who are asking questions might want to come on, but it's pretty quiet. At the moment, I'm trying to fix a networking issue. My players are all out of sync. So my first point of call is to try and create a player leaderboard system. And as I have different players on my computer, I can have like 10 versions of the game running. If I can see them all playing and having the same scores, then I know we've started to fix some of our networking issues. I can see everyone has the same picture. But to go. I've decided I'm going to either use a list or a dictionary data structure. But I'm trying to work out where to put this information and how to make it accessible. Because each player has to call other players to tell them updates about their own score. Re-enable this method. So this tag here means that this function can be called by other players. This function handles updating the leaderboard. Let's score L points equals points. Oh, okay. I don't think how this is going to work. I send out a message to another player and I'm sending it out to this method here. I'm telling him my name is Chris. I've got 20 points. I'm sending this data into this here. I'm just telling them points. They don't know what player that even relates to. I'm trying to work out how to link. I've just received information about points. Who told me about that? How do I technically write that? Aye. Okay. I'm going to try this a different way. I'm going to create a brand new function. I'm going to do some testing. So, public void. I'm going to allow people to call this. And I'm going to say... let's just bring in this table. So a table of data just allows me to store names and scores. So at the very beginning of my code, I need to create this table. Private means it's a table that only exists within this particular script. This script relates to controlling the player. Dictionary just means it's a table with 2 columns. Column 1, I'm making a string. Column 2, I'm making an integer. I think I'm going to have multiple columns, actually. Could be wrong. It's essentially a chat. Oh, getting your player points are stored in a variable, right? Can't that be called? When you say it's a chat, What do you mean by that? Sorry. And player points are, yes, stored in variables, and they're stored in variables on each person's computer. So I pick up a water droplet and I update my own personal score from 10 to 11, trying to work out, because that's local to my client. I'm trying to work out how do I communicate that message to tell everyone else in the server, the other 20 players, that I've now gone from 10 to 11 points. And it's critical that we all know that, because it's the mechanism that is utilized to allow players to collide together and to work out who should kill who. I was just messing about the chat. Gotcha. Hey. Okay, so I've created a dictionary. I've already done the work as to how to do some updates I've been testing. So the syntax on dictionary updates is as follows. Let's do temp test leaderboard. So this is what's going to be called whenever another player picks up a droplet. Let's say they're just going to add an entry, and it's going to be player name and score. So that's the variable that I'm going to put in this dictionary structure. Yeah, so you want a rank, yes. Although half the fun might be guessing if they're smaller than you, so you can beat them purely on size. True. That could seriously be how it is. Like, I might not expose the numbers, but right now I want to make a leaderboard so I can visually see, is my game working? Like right now, I'm like colliding with other players and we're inconsistently killing each other. And the only way I'm able to interpret what happens is I'm having to write to console and read through the history of events. I'd like to have a visual depiction of a leaderboard right now as I test collisions between players and see, was that the correct collision? Did this guy eat the correct person? You don't want to bump into this guy and kill this guy over here or something. There's so many, yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to expose the data. So I want to receive string, player name, and an integer. I think I'm storing it as float. I have to store it as float. It doesn't automatically change type. Yeah, for mechanics, it's pretty important. I'm going to start off with a leaderboard. Scoreboard, add, player name, score. Why does that not work? Cannot convert. Oh, has to be in. Oh, how annoying. I'm going to change that. My declaration. Never mind. I'm just going to test if this works. Like, I actually don't know if this is going to work. Scoreboard for each value. Okay. So this is then saying, the reason I'm looping through here is I just want to write out the details to see, did we receive information? That's all. Just going to comment all this other test code out. So in theory, all this is going to happen, this function, I've now exposed this thing called the test leaderboard to other players. They can send me their player name and their score. And supposedly, if they do that, I am going to add it to my dictionary and I'm going to loop through and print out everything to console based on what I have. Okay, sorry, I was just messaging in Discord. Okay. Alright, now we want to call this. So, test leaderboard. Where am I going to call that? I've got a function when I pick up. This is so messy. I can't wait to refactor this one day. When I pick up other game objects. So when I collide into things, if it's a droplet and it's my character, I'm going to send an update request. So I call this method called update points, which is above. And in here, I update my own points. And right now, this is my current system that doesn't work. I'm going to add in another piece of logic. This is the syntax. So we're going to pass. We've got access to the player listing information. Oh, I need to send in. Oh boy. Player dot. I got to send in 2 attributes. I hope this works. The name player does not exist. That's awesome. All right, I'm just going to send in some dummy data. Why do they have to manually send it? Shouldn't it post every time their score changes? Yeah. I'm just explaining it like they're sending it. But right now, I've created a single player game. And I know how to create single player games. I can bump into objects. Everything's on my PC. And I can read all the information from that character. I can create all sorts of logic as to how I interact with NPCs, rocks that I bump into, whatever. Super easy. The moment you say, I want to create a multiplayer game, you need to code everything differently. Like, if you bump into an object that's another player on another PC, they're running a different version of the game than you. You're over here, you've got your single player game. They've got their own single player game. And whatever they're doing, I bumped into them. I'm like, I only know information about that player based on what my computer's saying. And if their computer's not sending me data, and it doesn't just automatically, there's no way for them to just automatically, you can't just go, oh, well, it's going to be multiplayer, and both these computers to just talk and just work. You actually need to go down to the layer of that particular player. I want the attributes of my player, like the physical height. If I eat a mushroom and it makes my player physically taller, I want to tell everyone else in the game that I'm physically taller. So you got to specifically choose what data you want to share with other players in the game, where you are physically. Like, imagine if, like, it's World of Warcraft, I'm on the other side of the world. There's going to be rules that says, I don't want to tell everyone where I am because it's just going to lag the network. They don't need to know where I am unless I'm, like, within 50 meters of them or something. So I'm trying to work out, because I've been going through in stages. What happened initially was I'd have 2 players that managed to get onto the same world and I could see them, but they had both of the computers, when they ran the game side by side, they had different views of the world. So water droplets were spawning differently on player 1's screen than they were on player 2's screen. And that's because the machines weren't talking to one another. So now what I've got that's happening is the first person that joined the server, whether this is the long-term play or not, the first person that joins the server, that is the master client that controls the spawning of droplets, and it sends the coordinates of those droplets out to all other players. So everyone has the same view. So that's what I'm going through right now to say, what data do I need to communicate with everyone and how do I do that? So this is my test here. Oh, some people are pinging me in Discord. Any interest in the sponsorship? I checked out your content and we can chat a little. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I assume the game cloud was cloud-based, and so everyone was essentially playing the same game in the same world. Well, it is, but I have to still code it to work in the cloud. So the moment I turn the game on, I'm connecting to the cloud. But the code, like the programming code, has to know what data to send to the cloud and how frequently. I have to define every single parameter. I could totally lag up the network if I said, you know, I want to send keyboard clicks, like everything I type, every single letter gets sent out. Hang on, let me just scroll down. Sorry, hello, and I didn't see it in chat. I'm trying to work out if I've got like a delayed stream. It's weird. Yeah, sorry, going back to what I was saying. See, you connect to the cloud, but there's just so many rules. Popping over here from... Oh, I've got people talking in YouTube. Ah, hey, old John. Oh, that comes up in chat. I think you might see... Yeah, I can see your chat now. Sorry, I've only started streaming to YouTube recently. I can see you now. I've got both chat windows going. Yeah, and it's also appearing in the stream. That's how I caught it a second ago. Just make that bigger. Increasing chat size. But yeah, Curtis, so it's one thing to connect to the cloud, but to make your game multiplayer, it's a whole different kettle of fish because everything here is just lines of code. Like, I write the line of code. I just type in variable 40 hit points and my player has 40 hit points. What does that mean? I then need to define all the rules when I bump into other players. That player, if I bump into him, he's a spiky player. I have to deduct my health by 5 points. No worries, bud. We'll talk to you another time. Have a good one. Rest up. Yeah, I can see your chat, John. I think I said it before. Yeah, no worries. See how that goes. So how can I help you, John? Okay, let's see if I can code for a second. Let's test this function. Leaderboard on RPC. S. Sending points across. Ooh. Hope that works. Let's see if we can get a playtest going on. Run. Rate the room. Put a log debug statement so I can see what I've just done. So I am, yes, cool. So I'm trying to do a test leaderboard at the moment, just trying to test how I can update leaderboards. Oh, I got an error. Okay. Test leaderboard go. Doesn't like it. Let's go back to my console log. Up errors only. Legal view ID 0. Let me get some more context around this error. I've only fixed it once before. I'm trying to remember what it was. I work with micro podcasting app, looking to pay content creators for 60 to 90 second daily content. Doesn't have to be 70 days, but something consistent. Who's the micro podcasting app? Are you guys looking for particular content creators in a certain industry? I'm intrigued to hear you out. It's a prefab that gets instantiated, but not on the Photon network instantiated. Okay. Huh. Okay. Why would that? Same on all clients in a room, or this gets an error. Okay. In regards to talking about the finer particulars, did you want my email or anything to send through some stuff for me to have a read through? At the moment, I'm predominantly doing the 30-day hackathon. And obviously in amongst that, maybe I could do some sort of a recap. Yeah, cool. I'll send through my email now. How long have you been in the community for Fractal? Just checking out your details. Yeah, no worries. Hey, just to clarify, I've just taken a look through the chat history. I've noticed you're trying to reach out to Fractal. Are you aware I don't work for Fractal? I am one of the community moderators, but I'm not actually a Fractal employee. So I can see you were trying to reach out to Brent and Felix. Ah, cool. Awesome. Oh, I'm happy to hear you out, bud. See if it's worthwhile for both parties, for sure. Yeah, you before me. I joined around at the 78,000 point. It was around Christmas. It was an awkward time having family visiting and wasn't really around all that often. I was super happy that I actually came across this. Okay. Trying to think about my predicament as well. I'm new to doing multiplayer networking. So this is an awesome learning curve. Fire. You can represent them if you want in a show if they're open to that, or you can do your own thing too. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, look, once you send me through the spiel, I can have a better understanding of what's on the table, and then whether there's that value in being that relay for Fractal or they'd like to do it themselves. Yeah, I don't mind. I gather you haven't had a chance to actually speak to Felix or Brent just yet? Yeah, fair call. Hustling in the early whitelist time. Issue is getting the better of me. What am I doing wrong? Big review again. No, they didn't respond. I just follow up a lot, trying to get through. That's how I find results. Yeah, fair enough. Persistence is always key. Look, the guys are super, super busy, so it's a matter of being on at the right time. Having that chance to be heard. They are so very busy. Which is a good sign. It means they're not wasting capital. That they're not overstaffed. And they can slowly grow as they need to. Just trying to capture some more information. All right, what is that? Yeah, I figure they're busy. Email sent. Thank you. If you haven't seen my videos on YouTube, feel free to check them out so you can, I guess, see the content style of what I'm potentially able to deliver. Obviously, streaming is a different kettle of fish. I'm currently doing some exploring and just general chatting. Whoops. What do? Finish this. Player. Okay, I'm just checking my email now while you're here, if you are still here. What email address did it come from? I actually can't see any new emails that have come through to chris@lekadigital.com.au. Ah, cool. Thank you. check my email again in a second while I just continue to debug. Yeah, I did check my email. It just hasn't come through just yet. Type my email just one more time. Okay. Cold update points. Let's see what is test. Ah, cool. No worries, mate. Okay. So that's why it doesn't work. I need to call the photon view. Oops. I'm not confident in this change. Checking now. Okay. Cheers, buddy. Okay. I'll have a look. I've got your details now. So how do you know... what's your link to them? You work for them, is that what you were saying? I work with. Is it sort of like affiliate? Like if you're not working for them, are you a consultant for them? Or is it some sort of affiliate? Yeah, I'll have a read. Okay. Cool. Well, look, what I'm going to do anyway is I'm going to hop off stream now. So thanks for the small viewers that we currently have. I'll hop off stream and I will chat to you after in Discord. Oh, cool. Or I'm happy to chat here for a moment. But yeah, I'll listen to the presentation and what have you. There you go. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks everyone for your time. Have a good night, guys. Cheers. Yeah, it's midnight. Cheers. All right, thanks, John. I'll speak to you later. See you, everybody.